Fargo Davies leads 1-0 off a goal by Ali Matter. 24:44 to go in the first half of play. And that's all the scoring so far. And immediately, appreciate all your assistance. That one's going to be popped up, and can Oleg get there? She does! She makes a jumping grab just as the ball was about to go over the fence. Kierma Bohr, a perfect 4 for 4. And a slam dunk from Harney. So Braden Keene is the guy in the backfield here. Mitchell's under center. And man in motion coming to the near side. And he'll look to the corner, and he's got Traber down the end zone for the touchdown. And it's 7-6. Skyhawks are on the board. 41-37, 4:25 to go here as the Kindred Vikings will work it down low. And now there's slam dunk and one. How about that? A slam dunk by Gavin Keller, and he got fouled on the two-handed throwdown. 5:07 and counting in the shotgun, looking to pass near side, going for Jamal Spivey, and he got it! A 24-yard touchdown connection from Clemens to Spivey. Brings up Kenzie McKinnon and puts your outfielders in left and left center because that one's going to left field and that's gone. That is a two-run shot for Kenzie McKinnon. And it's 3-0 Central Cass as the Squirrels will come out to home plate and wait for McKinnon to come across home. That one was gone the moment it hit the bat. Shot from the point, Bree Adams, lowering hard, and it's in! Off the stick of Sydney Canstrup, and the Cougars are on the board. And Dahl will drop back to pass again. This one's over the middle and intercepted by Gunnar Broughton. At the 40, at the 30, at the 25-20, and he has a man to beat. Cuts inside, 10-5, touchdown, Gunnar Broughton on the pick six. And the Vikings now lead 35-0. All right, welcome. We are in Kindred, North Dakota tonight for the junior varsity game between the Kindred Vikings and the Richland Colts. And we need to fix one thing really quick here. 1 second. All right, we're underway here, and it's actually 7-minute halves. We'll switch that here. It's Valley City, and our camera person doesn't have the camera up yet. There we go. Now we got it over to you. That was our bad. 2-0 Valley City, and now make it 2-2 in favor of Kindred. All right, now we got the clock set. 3-pointer there for the Kindred Vikings. Once again, junior varsity game with the varsity game to follow here. The Kindred Vikings won in overtime against Valley City in the C game. I forgot to write down the final score. I believe it was like 39-37, I do believe. Valley City had a chance to tie it, and they made one extra pass, and the clock expired. And as a result, they lost the game when they had an opportunity to take a shot and possibly tie it up and send it to a second overtime, but that was not the case. There we go. Now I got my roster in front of me here, and the free throw is up and in. It'll be 7-2 now in favor of the Kindred Vikings. 6-2, excuse me. The scoreboard got up faster than I did. Now it's 7-2. At the free throw line there was, I believe it was Jordan Sunram, number 24. Now Richland will have the ball. Work it over to the near wing, and the ball will be turned over back to Kindred. So again, you can go to our website, msportsnet.com, and under the games button there, click on the game schedule and find out all the upcoming games. We've seen Richland's varsity team once this year. We saw their JV team once this year too, and they played Oaks. And in that varsity game against Oaks, they here's a three-pointer on the way. A little too strong, but an offensive rebound. Kindred will reset. In that varsity game between Richland and Oaks, the final score was 67-65 in favor of the Oaks Tornadoes. And there was 23 lead changes and 11 ties, if memory serves me correctly. Long two on the way, a little bit too strong, and a defensive board there. I just have a varsity roster for Richland, so I'm not sure who that is. Inbounds pass goes into the backcourt, and it's retrieved by Kindred. And lost out of bounds back to the Richland Colts. Nice coverage brought to you by Boosters, and we think that page on our website is currently under construction. We had some stuff happen to it, so we had to rebuild it from scratch. So we do apologize for that, but we certainly appreciate the support to make these games possible. As we had an open date, we were able to slip in a game and decided to come here. We had to narrow down between a girls' game and a boys' game between Fargo South and Wahpeton. And we chose this one. We thought it would be the better of the two matchups. So I know a lot of the Kindred faithful are happy that we picked this one here, and we certainly appreciate you watching. We always have a great following when we're down here in Kindred, regardless if it's volleyball, basketball, football, or softball. And that ball will go back to Richland. So team foul number 3 on the Vikings. And in case you don't know, Richland in the light blue with the yellow, and that's over and back. I'm not sure what she was thinking on that one there, but that's a violation. You cannot do that, and that ball will go back to Kindred as a result. Maybe she thought that her teammate had a little bit more speed to get over that midcourt stripe, but not the case on this time. Working down in the near corner. If you remember our old website, it used to be at ndsportschannel.com. Matter of fact, if you go to that website now, I'll redirect you to our current website. But it was this side of the Kindred Vikings gym that was the background of our website. It was a game between Kindred and Central Cass. And the reason why I bring that up is because I noticed that for the first time on the back of our email there. So I was reviewing our email earlier today. Richland, I thought they scored. Okay, now they updated the scoreboard there. It's 6-4. Nice move down low, but it won't drop in. That was Anna Fryer. No, check that. It was not. It was not sure. That number 10 is not on my jersey. Turnaround shot from inside the paint, a little too strong. Kindred will pull down the rebound. Leading by 2 with a chance to increase that lead. This trip down the court. I'll work it up top. Trying to work it inside. That ball will go out of bounds and back to the Richland Colts. And the Colts will have a chance to tie or possibly take the lead here. varsity game notes. You got Kindred Richland, or I'm sorry, I'm thinking softball here. There's a steal. Back to that game note in just a moment here, and that'll be in off the glass, and it's 8-4. And the Vikings get the steal off the rebound. They work the ball back up top here, and now they'll put up a 3, and that one's a little strong off the back of the rim. Wrestling match for the rebound. Will they call a jump ball? Yes, they will. Possession arrow will favor the Richland Colts. Doing some prep for the varsity game today. The Kindred Vikings have not lost to a Region 1 opponent in the last 43 games. They're 43-0 against Region 1 opponents, the Kindred Vikings are. And that dates back to their last loss in February of 2016 when they lost to the Tri-State Tigers in the Region 1 title game. On the flip side, the Richland Colts have a quality team this year, and they certainly have the talent to end that 43-game streak. We'll see if they can do it or not. The only tidbit that's not on their side is they haven't defeated Kindred in almost 10 years. Matter of fact, I think it's about a day shy of 10 years. It was January 10th of 2010, the last time Richland defeated Kindred, and that is 1 day shy of a decade ago. I'm gonna pull out my notes to make sure I didn't say that incorrectly here. I wasn't incorrect. I was off by a couple of days. It was January 14th, 2010. Richland Colts defeated Kindred 31-26. And then the last time they had defeated them prior to that was back on January 22nd of 2009. They would defeat them by 45-44. And then Richland also swept Kindred in 2008. 58-44 here at this gym that we're at now in the district tournament, or in a regular season match, and then again in the district tournament back when Region 1 didn't exist, and it was, well, I mean, it existed, but we had district tournaments back at that time, and that was a 65-44 win for the Richland Colts. Coming up after tonight's varsity game, we'll have 3 games for you tomorrow. We'll have the JV game between Fargo Davies and the Cheyenne Mustangs. That is the boys' junior varsity game. And then we'll have the girls' varsity at about 5:45, followed by the boys' varsity, and that's one that you're going to want to circle, even if you're just looking for a good basketball game, regardless of who's playing in it. That is going to be a good basketball game. That one could go either way. It's number 1 versus number 2, but if you look at all the stats as far as points scored per game, average points allowed per game, win-loss record, I mean, it is pretty much even all the way across the board. There's really the only thing to decide who's number 1 and who's number 2 is which fan base you talk to. So that'll be a good game that we have for you tomorrow. The Colts pull within 1 here in the junior varsity game. And then on Saturday, we'll have a afternoon doubleheader for you. Boys basketball up in Grand Forks as the Grand Forks Central Knights will host Fargo Davies. JV game at 4:15 with the varsity to follow at 5:45 this coming Saturday. Then we'll have West Fargo Packers doubleheader on January 14th for you. And then we'll be in Barnesville for a girls matchup with the Holly Nuggets on the 16th. And then Dilworth, Glendon Felton will host the Barnesville boys team on January 17th. And that'll take us through the midpoint of January. And the Richland Colts take the lead on that bucket right there. 10-9 with 1:17 and counting to go here in the first quarter of play. Also on our website, msportsnet.com, underneath the Games button, you can click on Games on Demand, and you can get the final scores to every broadcast that we've ever done, including this game and the varsity game later tonight. Matter of fact, if we were to go there and look right now, it's on the game replay portion of that page, say 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. When those times change to the word watch, that means you can click on it and watch it 24/7. So if you have friends or family that can't watch the game live, then you can certainly send them to our website to have them watch the game without having to tell them the final score. They can find out for themselves, unless they really, really want to know what the final score is. 30 seconds to go. It's a 1-point lead for Richland here, and now that whistle will stop the clock with 29 seconds to go. 29.3 to be exact. Work it into the paint, now outside along the baseline, out top, wide open for three. A little too strong, bounces off the rim, battle for the rebound, goes into the hands of the Colts. Six seconds to go, and now a whistle. It will stop the clock with 5.7 seconds. Inbounds pass from the baseline, gets tipped, loose ball, and she kept it in front of the midcourt stripe, heaves it up at the buzzer, and just a little bit off to the left, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter of play. It is 10-9 in favor of the Richland Colts in the junior varsity game. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the second quarter. Did you miss any or all of this live game broadcast? Not to worry. Over 90% of the games on the Magnitude Sports Media Network are available on demand on our website within a couple hours, so you can watch the game anytime. You can also take advantage of the DVR feature, which puts instant replay instantly into your hands. You can watch a delayed version of this live broadcast, rewatch a big play or score, and then at any time, return to live action simply by clicking live. Now you don't have to miss your son's game-winning goal, your daughter's set sealing ace serve. Thanks for watching the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Subscribe to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search for Magnitude Sports, click on subscribe, click on the bell, and select your alert preference of all, personalized, or none. By selecting all, you'll be notified to every live broadcast and video upload we make. Selecting personalized will notify you only to the games and videos most likely to interest you, and selecting none will help us out by becoming a subscriber but avoid unnecessary mobile and email notifications. Direct link is youtube.com/ndsportschannel/live. Thanks for subscribing to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. All right, welcome back. Second quarter of play is about to get underway here in the junior varsity game, and the Richland Colts hanging on to a 1-point lead here over the Kindred Vikings. Well, thank you for joining us once again. The varsity game is coming up next here, and that should be a good one. We got the 7-0 Kindred Vikings hosting the 6-3 Richland Colts. Matter of fact, the last loss for Kindred, I'd have to double check. Matter of fact, let me double check on that. I'm pretty sure it was about mid-season last year against a Region 2 opponent, but I can't remember. I know they lost to Thompson and Grafton last year, and they just barely hung on to beat Grafton earlier this year. They got Thompson up in Thompson a little bit later this season. Last year, that trying to pull up the correct information here just to make sure I get it right. Last year when they played Thompson, that game was won by Thompson by the final score of, I believe it was 67-65, but it took 3 overtimes to decide a winner. So the three-pointer's up to make it 13 to, I think it's 9. The scoreboard in the gym shows 8, but we're going to go with 9. They may have accidentally taken a point off, and we'll double check. If they don't change it here in the next minute or two, we'll change it on ours to match it. But Nice drive to the hoop, puts it up and in. 15 to, we're gonna if they don't, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and change it to 8. Just so it matches up with what's in the gym here. And now we can give them 10. That whistle will stop the clock with 5:21 to go. So Kindred started off the season, this is their varsity team once again, with an 80-37 win over the Maple Valley Raiders, and then a 57-29 win over Sargent Central. 76-53 win over Oaks, and they scored 82 points, holding the Rebels of Dilworth Glendon Felton to 37. That game was back on December 14th. And then they would score 11 additional points as they dropped 93 against Wyoming Lidgerwood in a 93-41 victory over the Warbirds. And then they knocked off Grafton 62-54, but at one point in that second half, Kindred actually trailed in that game, but they were able to make a comeback and pick up the victory, and then 79-23 over Tri-State. Tri-State, the last Region 1 team to defeat Kindred. That was back in 2016 in the Region 1 title game. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, Tri-State swept Kindred on that particular year. As that basket's up and in to make it 15-12. 4:45 and counting to go here in the second quarter of play. Last year, Kindred Vikings went 23-3. They were 13-0 against Region 1 opponents. Their 3 losses came 2-point loss, 64-62 to Dilworth Glendon Felton, which didn't hurt them in their Region 1 record. Their second loss came to a 61-54 loss to the Grafton Spoilers during the Holiday Hoops tournament. And that one didn't hurt Kindred because it was a Region 1 versus Region 2 opponent, just like the loss to, or the Dilworth Glendon Felton loss was a North Dakota versus Minnesota opponent. So that one didn't hurt them, as that 3-pointer was up and in at 17-15 now. So Colts hang on to a 2-point lead. Well, we had an exciting C game, which if we could have been here soon enough, we would have put that one on for you. And I'm kind of regretting that we couldn't get here soon enough, because it's not very often you have a C game go to overtime, and that would have been a great one to bring to you. And then last year they had another 2-point loss to the Thompson Tommies, 78-76. I think I said 77-75 or something like that, but it took 3 overtimes. That game was played right here in Kindred. They'll play the Tommies again up in Thompson later this season. Nice drive through the lane, weaved through defenders and laid it in off the glass. That ties us up at 17 with 3:20 and counting to go. Ball goes out of bounds, stopping the clock with 3:15. And then after that triple overtime loss to Thompson, they haven't lost a game since then. That was the last time Kindred lost to anybody. That was back on January 12th, just 3 days shy of 1 year ago today. Another nice move to the basket and lays it in off the glass. Once again, I do apologize. I don't have a JV roster for Richland, so therefore, to be fair to both fan bases here, we're going to pretend that we don't have a JV roster for Kindred either. Three-pointer on the way from the far wing. Rebound underneath, off the glass and in. We're tied at 19. And back and forth we go with another three-pointer. It's 22-19 now in favor of the Kindred Richland Vikings. So all of last season and this season, the Kindred Vikings are 30-3. If you include 2017-2018 season, when they went 20-6, that'd make them 50-9 over the last 3 years. And then just for kicks, because I know that the season before that was that undefeated season where they went 26-0. So 50-9, so 76-9 in the last 4 years. Kindred Vikings are, of course, that 26-0 season was the last year that Perry Piotz coached the team for the Kindred Vikings, as they would defeat the North Star Bearcats in the state championship game 49-42. And the Bearcats coming into that state championship game were also undefeated. So it was a battle of two undefeated teams in that state championship game, and well, that was a good game. That one came down to some fantastic plays. Brooke Hyatt hit, I think, I'm not sure if it was a school record or not, but I know she had, like, I forgot the exact number now, but she had a record number of threes in one particular season. I forgot what the exact number was. I remember calling that game on a radio station I used to work at. I believe that was up in Grand Forks at the Alaris Center. Yep, it sure was. Second half, we'll give you a half of basketball recap on the Richland Colts. So that whistle stopped the clock with 1:24 to go. Kindred up by 2, looking to maybe slow it down just a little bit here and maybe build on that lead going into halftime with a baseline jumper, rebound underneath, and then the ball on the shot when hit the bottom of the backboard, but she would get fouled. I didn't see the foul, but the foul must have occurred. And that'll send the shooter to the free throw line. We believe that is possibly Mackenzie Ammerman. Don't check that. Jansen Jordheim. I want to say thanks to Richland head coach Bruce Schei for helping me out with a couple name pronunciations that I couldn't remember from that game against Oaks. Went over during the C game, during the overtime session of that C game, and was trying to find like a parent or something from Richland, and there was Bruce sitting in the corner of the bleachers munching on some popcorn. I was like, hey, Bruce, and he saw my t-shirt and realized who I was, and I was like, I'm gonna bug you for some names if you don't mind. And he's like, yeah. So the Richland Colts 6-3, their 3 losses. One of them we had for you here on the Indy Sports Channel. 67-65 loss to the Oaks Tornadoes back on December 12th. Then they would drop one on the road against the Central Cass Squirrels, 62-35. And then another road game, 53-40 loss to Lemoore Litchfield Marion. But in Region 1, they are 2-1. They've only played 3 Region 1 opponents this year so far. Their most recent game, they defeated Wheaton Herman Norcross, the Warriors, 62-33. They would hold off the Hillsborough Central Valley Burros by 2, 58-56 on a home game there for Richland. And then on another home game against Mayport CG, they would knock off the Patriots 56-43. Wilmot, I believe they're, let's see here, are they Minnesota? The Wilmot Wolves. No, they're from South Dakota. I had to double check that one. But they would defeat Wilmot 58-33. And then that loss to Oaks I told you about. And then 73-52 win over Wyoming Ridgewood, a game in which Megan Rube scored, I believe it was either 50 or 52 points in that game. Don't check that. That was not in the Wyoming Ridgewood game. That was actually in the game against the Lisbon Broncos to open up the season. Richland defeat the Broncos 67-38, and that was the game where Megan Rube scored. It was either 50 or 52 points, or maybe it was 47. I'd have to look back on that one. That'll be the halftime buzzer. 24-23 here at halftime in favor of the Richland Colts. And, well, it's been a good one so far in the first half. We'll see how the second half treats us after this timeout on the ND Sports Channel.
Paper tickets. Rookie mistake. Game Time is the fastest way to buy tickets to live events with your friends. You can buy the perfect seats in seconds, and tickets are delivered directly to your phone, so you always have them with you. Download Game Time free on the App Store, and you'll instantly see a curated list of the best upcoming events in your area. Game Time sorts through thousands of available seats on the market and presents you with only the 50 best values. One of the best things about Game Time is you can get tickets at last-minute prices even after the game starts. Download Game Time free on the App Store today.
The Magnitude Sports Media Network is all about bringing your team home when they're on the road and bringing your team to your friends, fans, and family who are on the road. Does your team have a huge road game coming up on the schedule that your fans aren't able to attend? Does your family live in a different part of the country? Consider sponsoring your team. We can show you who's watching the game, the age group, the actual number of viewers, so team up with us to bring your team back to your home television when they are on the road playing. Visit our website, msportsnet.com, or call us at 701-373-1843.
High school sports programs provide valuable lessons for practical life solutions, teamwork, sportsmanship, and hard work. Students learn self-respect through responsibility of their actions through high school activities. There are kids out there, coaches and parents, who appreciate sports officials for doing a tough job with class. More officials are needed. Someone like you. Contact your local high school or the North Dakota High School Activities Association to find out how to become an official. A message from the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
Subscribe to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search for Magnitude Sports, click on subscribe, click on the bell, and select your alert preference of all, personalized, or none. By selecting all, you'll be notified to every live broadcast and video upload we make. Selecting personalized will notify you only to the games and videos most likely to interest you, and selecting none will help us out by becoming a subscriber but avoid unnecessary mobile and email notifications. Direct link is youtube.com/ndsportschannel/live. Thanks for subscribing to Magnitude Sports on YouTube.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
Okay, here are 3 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a sport in high school.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages.
And number 3.
High school sports are safer than ever before.
This message presented by the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators.
Since October 17, 2017, the Magnitude Sports Media Network has brought you over 550 games and a grand total of 115,000 plus viewers and listeners who have watched or listened to one of the 105 varsity, JV, or sub-varsity teams that have played in one of the 8 different sports that we have broadcasted from 40 cities and towns, including hockey, baseball, softball, volleyball, basketball, soccer, and swimming, with hopes of doing more in the future. Consider a donation or a sponsorship that'll give you advertising dollars every bang for its buck that you can expect. Visit our website for more information, msportsnet.com, or call us at 701-373-1843. Thank you for being loyal viewers and supporters for the past 2 years. Did you miss any or all of this live game broadcast? Not to worry. Over 90% of the games on the Magnitude Sports Media Network are available on demand on our website within a couple hours, so you can watch the game anytime. You can also take advantage of the DVR feature, which puts instant replay instantly into your hands. You can watch a delayed version of this live broadcast, rewatch a big play or score, and then at any time, return to live action simply by clicking live. Now you don't have to miss your son's game-winning goal or your daughter's set sealing a serve. Thanks for watching the Magnitude Sports Media Network. All right, we're at halftime here of the junior varsity game here at Kindred High School in Kindred, North Dakota. I want to say thanks to Activities Director Matt Crane for allowing us to come out here and broadcast the games today. Once again, Kindred C team beat Valley City in overtime by 2. And now it's a 1-point lead for the Colts here at halftime of the junior varsity game. Then we'll have the varsity game set for a scheduled tip-off of 7:30 p.m. But since that C game went late, it might be like 7:35, 7:40. So just let your friends know that if they happen to be watching, not watching right now, but they will plan to watch the varsity game. And once again, we do apologize that we don't have a junior varsity roster for Richland. So to be fair, we're trying to call the game as equally as we can here. So with that in mind, we're about 4 minutes away from the start of the second half. We'll take one more timeout and come back in a couple minutes here with the third quarter of play on the Andy Sports Channel.
Paper tickets. Rookie mistake. Game Time is the fastest way to buy tickets to live events with your friends. You can buy the perfect seats in seconds, and tickets are delivered directly to your phone, so you always have them with you. Download Game Time free on the App Store, and you'll instantly see a curated list of the best upcoming events in your area. Game Time sorts through thousands of available seats on the market and presents you with only the 50 best values. One of the best things about Game Time is you can get tickets at last-minute prices even after the game starts. Download Game Time free on the App Store today.
Subscribe to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search for Magnitude Sports, click on subscribe, click on the bell, and select your alert preference of all, personalized, or none. By selecting all, you'll be notified to every live broadcast and video upload we make. Selecting personalized will notify you only to the games and videos most likely to interest you, and selecting none will help us out by becoming a subscriber but avoid unnecessary mobile and email notifications. Direct link is youtube.com/ndsportschannel/live. Thanks for subscribing to Magnitude Sports on YouTube.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Did you miss any or all of this live game broadcast? Not to worry. Over 90% of the games on the Magnitude Sports Media Network are available on demand on our website within a couple hours, so you can watch the game anytime. You can also take advantage of the DVR feature, which puts instant replay instantly into your hands. You can watch a delayed version of this live broadcast, rewatch a big play or score, and then at any time, return to live action simply by clicking live. Now you don't have to miss your son's game-winning goal or your daughter's set sealing a serve. Thanks for watching the Magnitude Sports Media Network. All right, welcome back. Kindred will have the ball to start the second half of play here. And we're underway. It's once again a 1-point lead. 24-23 in favor of the Richland Colts. Vikings in their home whites with dark blue numbers, and the Colts in the light blue with goldish yellow numbers. Or I should say yellowish gold is probably the better way to make that flow off the tongue there. Once again, if you're just joining us, we don't have a JV roster for Richland. We apologize for that. Called enough varsity games to know that the numbers on my varsity, junior varsity roster are not always accurate. So the varsity game coming up next. Once again, Richland 6-3. They've only played 3 Region 1 opponents. They're 2-1 against those Region 1 opponents. Richland went 16-6 last year. There are only 6 losses, 68-56 to Breckenridge, 67-45 loss to Wheaton Herman Norcross to start the season 0-2. And then they would win 4 in a row before they would drop one 43-39 to Lemoore Litchfield Marion, and then a home game against Kindred, 56-37. They would lose that one. After that, they would win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row before dropping another one to Oaks, 74-60. Then they would win 5 in a row, taking them into the Region 1 basketball tournament, knocking off Lisbon and Enderlin in the quarterfinals and semifinals, but then they would lose to Kindred in the Region 1 championship game 71-53. So Kindred really the only team in Region 1 that, with maybe the exception of 1 or 2 others, but Kindred over the years has been a hurdle here for Richland. 16-6 last year. That was the 2018-2019 season. And then the 2017-2018 season, they were 7-15 and 5-7 against Region 1. In the 2016 season, 8-4 against Region 1, as they had an overall record of 15-9. With losses to Barnesville, Oak Grove, Langdon area, Edmore, Munich, Enderlin, Kindred 58-39. Breckenridge and Wheaton Herman Norcross, and then Tri-State at the end of the regular season. Then they would enter into that Region 1 tournament, knocking off Milner North Sargent and Enderlin, falling to Kindred again 56-30, and then defeating Oak Grove in that 3rd place game by the score 67-53 back in that 2016-17 season. Those are all games that I broadcasted back when I was working in radio. A little over 5 minutes and change to go here, and shot is up and good. The Vikings take the lead at 27-24. In the pregame show for varsity, we'll go over the Region 1 standings and take a look at some of the other games being played in Region 1 tonight. Take an in-depth look at these 2 teams. Side by side, put them side by side, and all that cool stuff. And stay tuned after the game, too, as we'll select a player of the game after our varsity coverage tonight. Don't forget, both the junior varsity and the varsity games will be available for a 24/7 replay on our website at msportsnet.com under the Games button. Click on Games on Demand. If you were to do that right now, you would see the JV and the varsity game, and it would say 6 and 7:30. And as soon as those times change to the word watch, you can watch the game 24/7 on demand. Just like you could on Netflix or Hulu, you can watch anything 24/7 on demand. Same with us. Free throw miss. Kindred pulls down the rebound, brings it back down to the other end of the court, drives the lane up and in, off the glass. More than likely Carly Pearson, an 8th grader, who made that last bucket for Kindred. Richland will draw the foul. I'll set them up at the free throw line here, stopping the clock with 4:03 to go. 5-point lead for the Vikings, and the Colts trying to chip away at that deficit on the scoreboard here. With free throws with the clock stopped, and that's not the way you want to get points with the clock stopped. Missing it off the front of the rim there. Looks like she grabbed her leg right above her knee. I don't know if she has like a muscle cramp possibly, but the official stepping in and talking with her and making sure she's okay. And they will let her shoot the next free throw. See how she handles this one. And she will jog away there, and now she'll get subbed out. So she'll have a chance to talk with coach and make sure everything's okay. And looks like she's going to go back to the locker room. Or maybe not to the locker room, but at least behind the bench. Maybe just trying to walk out whatever it is. You can probably see her back there on the far side of the court. Hopefully it's nothing serious and she'll be okay. That will still stop the clock with 3:27 to go, and it'll be an inbounds pass for the Colts from the baseline underneath the basket. Had to fight for that. Ball got stripped away. It bounced out of bounds and goes back to the Kindred Vikings. Players to watch on the varsity team for these two teams. Start with the Richland Colts. Megan Rube, along with Mackenzie Johnson. Riley Hendrickson could score some points, and you'll hear the two Caitlin's names a couple times. Erickson, Wagner. Coming off the bench, we might see Megan Lingen, Ava Egner, and Megan Tazarek. And then for the Kindred Vikings, well, where do you start? About half the roster there. Of course, Abby Dukeshire will be a player that Richland will want to try and contain. Yeah, Jordan Berner, who can, if she gets open, she can hit those three-pointers. And then down low, you have Taryn Johnson, who can bank him in off the glass, off the low post. Maddie O'Lean, a 5'7" senior, can shoot the ball pretty well. Tina Fryer, we know she can hit threes. Hit a three to tie it against Grant County in the quarterfinals of that state tournament a couple years ago. And then, unfortunately for the Kindred fans, Grant County's, I'm drawing a blank on the first name. I'm thinking of the head coach's first name and then the last name. Bentz. I can't think of her first name, but I know it's the coach's daughter. She hit that three from about 25, 28 feet out at the buzzer to win that one and send Kindred to the consolation bracket in that state tournament a couple years ago. Richland will pull down the rebound, and the pass is intercepted. And one-on-one back the other way, and she'll draw the foul. I'll stop the clock with 2:27 to go here. Two shots for Kindred here, leading by 4. In and out. Follow us online at on Twitter. If you have Twitter, you can follow us at msportsnet is our Twitter handle. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/msportsnetlive. You can watch the game on our Facebook page. You can watch the game on our website. You can watch the game on our YouTube channel. You can watch the game via the YouTube app on your mobile device. You can watch the game on the YouTube app on your home TV. Did we forget anything? I think we did. You can also download the Magnitude Sports mobile app on the Android device, not yet available on iPhone. I wish it was, that'd be sweet, but for some reason we can't get approval to get it onto the iPhone app. Might have to switch to an Android just for that. I own an iPhone. I might have to do a little switch of service here on which company's phone I possess. You can also watch it right on our website, right on the homepage there, right to the right of our logo at msportsnet.com. That was a 3, no, it was a 2. Referee signal 2. 31-27. She'll weave her way through defenders. And Kindred will get the rebound off the missed free throw. Avery Bartles with the rebound for Kindred. That shot is up, no good. I believe it was Bartles with the shot too. Richland down by 4 with a chance to cut the lead in half here with 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. That'll be a jump ball. Yes, and that'll favor the Richland Colts on the possession arrow. Maybe thought about the 3, but didn't pull the trigger there. Nice defense, getting up in the face of the shooter. That one's off the glass, and it's a 2-point game with 1:07 and counting to go. That whistle stopped the clock with 57.3 seconds to go here in the third quarter of play. So 7 o'clock right now in 7-minute fourth quarter with a 2-point game, and that'll probably in a 20-minute between game warm-up for the varsity squad. So probably looking a little bit closer to 7:45 for a start time on that varsity game. We'll see how the fourth quarter goes here, and then if Richland can tie it up. Basket will count, I believe. Yep, it sure will. And now Kindred with a 4-point lead has a chance to make it a 5-point lead here at the free throw line. Missed the free throw. That's good news if you're a Richland Colts fan. 4-point game and 30 seconds to go. Ball got tipped as the pass went inside, and now it rolls off the rim. 2-on-1 back the other way, and they'll get by the defender and lay it in. And now the 4-point game turns into a 6-point game. (35-29), and looks like we have a foul in the backcourt here. That is team foul number 7 on the Kindred Vikings. They'll send the Richland Colts to the line for the remainder of the second half. That includes the 3 seconds of the third quarter and all 7 minutes of the fourth quarter. They'll have a chance to shoot free throws on every foul. Loose ball, they get that along the baseline here. Work it inside, and the ball is stripped away at the buzzer. No traveling calls. The buzzer came first, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. It is a 35-29 lead for the Kindred Vikings, the fourth quarter in 60 seconds. The Magnitude Sports Media Network is all about bringing your team home when they're on the road and bringing your team to your friends, fans, and family who are on the road. Does your team have a huge road game coming up on the schedule that your fans aren't able to attend? Does your family live in a different part of the country? Consider sponsoring your team. We can show you who's watching the game, the age group, the actual number of viewers, so team up with us to bring your team back to your home television when they are on the road playing. Visit our website, msportsnet.com, or call us at 701-373-1843. Subscribe to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search for Magnitude Sports, click on subscribe, click on the bell, and select your alert preference of all, personalized, or none. By selecting all, you'll be notified to every live broadcast and video upload we make. Selecting personalized will notify you only to the games and videos most likely to interest you, and selecting none will help us out by becoming a subscriber but avoid unnecessary mobile and email notifications. Direct link is youtube.com/ndsportschannel/live. Thanks for subscribing to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. All right, fourth quarter of play, 35-29 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. The Richland Colts in the 1-1 bonus, and in a couple fouls from now, they'll have double bonus if the Vikings reach 10 fouls. Right now, they're at 7. And the reason why I bring that up there is because if Richland can get to the free throw line and score points at the clock stop, that would certainly be beneficial for the Colts here to tie this thing up and make it an interesting one at the end, just like the C-team game was. C-team game was against Valley City. Kindred won that in overtime. Pass inside was nearly intercepted, deflected, back into the hands of the Vikings. So they work the ball up top. Now a free throw line jumper off the glass, too strong. Offensive rebound. Out in the corner, long 2 from the baseline, a little strong, but another offensive rebound underneath from the low block. That shot ball goes straight up in the air, and Richland comes up with the loose ball. Back the other way, looking to cut the deficit, and that will be a blocking foul on Kindred. I'll stop the clock with 6:21 to go, and that'll be the 8th team foul here on the Kindred Vikings. (35-29), 6:21 to go, 35-30. She made the first, so she'll get another one, and she'll have a chance to cut this to a 4-point deficit here if she can connect on it. Missed it, remains 5-point difference. And a traveling call will give the ball back to the Richland Colts. Work the ball down low, off the glass and in, and it's a 3-point game, a 1-possession basketball game with 6 minutes and change to go here in the fourth quarter of play. So the crowd starts to fill in the stands here for the varsity game, which is coming up. I'm gonna say closer to 7:45 possibly. To the basket won't go. Loose ball, and Richland has a breakaway, wide open, and she'll go to the hoop and lay it in, and it's a 1-point game, 35-34. That'll be a blocking foul on Richland. That'll be team foul number 4 on the Colts. And she'll toss an elbow, and there'll be another blocking foul on the Colts. That'll be team foul number 5 now. Colts need to be a little bit careful here. They have a couple fouls to give, but they would like to eat some time off the clock before they do that, and man, it's just not going in their favor right now. I mean, just 10 seconds ago, they had 3 fouls, and now they have 6. 1 away from a 1-on-1 bonus for the Kindred Vikings. So work it down low, and that shot's up and in to make it it's still a 1-possession game at 37-34 with a little over 5 minutes and change to go here. Down low, they got the bucket up and in. It's back to a 1-point game, 37-36. That one will miss. A loose ball comes out to the Vikings. Back up top, they'll reset. Put up a 3. That could be big, but it didn't drop. Rebound underneath. That one could have been even bigger, and it didn't go in. And now we have a push underneath. I believe it's on the Kindred Vikings, and it is. That'd be team foul number 9 on the Vikings, and now send the Richland Colts to the free throw line with 4:42 to go. Trailing by 1, a chance to tie. And if on the 1-on-1 bonus she can make the first one and tie it, she'll have another opportunity to give the Colts the lead. And the Colts are going to talk it over. We'll take a 30-second timeout with them. Be back in a moment.
This is Michael Hall, a senior at Kindred High School and the 2018-19 North Dakota High School Activities Association Distinguished Student. While the scoreboard reveals the winner of a high school athletic contest, the real winners are those that display good sportsmanship. We need those people who treat competition as a game and not a war. People who show genuine concern for an injured player and those who accept all decisions of the game officials. Remember to be a good sport and a good citizen when you attend a high school game.
All right, welcome back. 37-36. Richland Colts talking it over, and a timeout on the floor right now. After the timeout, the Colts will be at the free throw line with a chance to tie on a 1-on-1 bonus. And if they can tie it, they'll get another free throw to try and take the lead. That one will rattle in, and we're tied at 37 with 4:42 to go. And that one's going to be short off the front of the rim. You may have heard that in our crowd mic back there from one of the Kindred fans trying to encourage their players to go grab that rebound. Tied at 37, and it's stolen away. Colts will slow it down, let their teammates get set up as they dribble it back in between the circles, and I'll toss it over to the near wing. They work it down low, and it's in! And they have a 39-37 lead with 4:12 to go, and the whistle will sound, and the clock will finally stop at 4:09. I think if the officials saw that, they'd probably want to tack a couple ticks back onto that. Should be at about 4:11 right now, so they didn't stop the clock immediately, but we'll go ahead and tick our clock down to 4:09 to match it. There we go. 39-37. It might be Blake Miller, if I remember my JV roster right from that Oaks game, who made that basket to give the Colts the lead. Once again, we don't have a JV roster for Richland. And if this mixed roster does represent some of the players on there, I know that some of the players aren't accurate and some of them are. So we'll do our best to identify the ones that we know for sure who they are. Oh, a little miscommunication there. She tried to fire it out to Bartles, and Bartles went the other way, and the ball went out of bounds as a result. Turnover, and with a 2-point lead, the Colts have a chance to extend that 2-point lead now. A little bit of pressure in the backcourt there by Kindred, and she lost the dribble off the back of her foot. They're going to call a jump ball, and the possession will favor the Kindred Vikings. 3:44 and counting, or not and counting, but just 3:44 to go. It'll be counting in a mere moment or two. Now it'll start to count. 3 on the way. No, off the front of the rim, and the Colts get the rebound. Ooh, I don't know. I think you may have heard the moans in the background. That traveling call was a little bit delayed there. She drug her second foot. back over on the far wing, right in front of the official there, and he did not call it. He must have thought that she planted her pivot foot. I mean, he was right there, and I'm on the other side of the gym, so he did have the better view on that one, so I'll respect that call. But from my vantage point and from what you may have heard in the background there from a few of the Kindred fans, they thought that was traveling as well. Three-pointer on the way. This could be big. Oh, it will not go in off the front. Just need a little bit more juice on that shot there to put it in. And now that ball will go out of bounds and back to the Richland Colts. So the Colts getting a couple lucky breaks here with a 2-point lead, and the whole minute is ticked off since the Colts took that lead. And here's another one-on-one breakaway down to the other end, spins around on the little block, puts it up, gets her own rebound. Now a wrestling match for the ball. Ball went out of bounds, and the official says it goes back to the Kindred Vikings. 2:53 and counting to go here in the fourth quarter of play. Nearly stolen away there. She got her hand on the ball, and that's time she will steal it away. One-on-one with one-on-two possible, and no basket there, and Kindred will bring it back with a chance to tie or take the lead on a three, and another turnover there. That one's a little bit strong, an offensive rebound, and Richland Colts, next time they get the ball, they need to be a little bit patient here, because if you give Kindred too many chances, and here's another chance that they got away with it. That's like 5 lucky breaks in a row here for the Richland Colts. They need to take the ball down the court and just slow it down and be patient. They have a 2-point lead with a little over 2 minutes to go. If they're patient, they can get that bucket in, get the 4-point lead. And that's probably what the Richland Colt is going to talk about right now, as timeout is called on the floor. So with 2:14 to go, we'll take a timeout as well. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay, here are 3 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a sport in high school.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages.
And number 3.
High school sports are safer than ever before.
This message presented by the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators.
All right, 2:14 to go, 39-37. Colts will have the ball out of the timeout here, as right before the timeout, Kindred got called for traveling. Kindred has turned the ball over on the last 4 or 5 possessions. Neither team has scored in almost 90 seconds. Like I said, if Richland can just be a little bit patient here. Another double team, and timeout Kindred to save the possession. That was a smart timeout there by the Kindred coach. Minute 55 to go, and we'll take another timeout with them. Back in 30 seconds.
This is Michael Hall, a senior at Kindred High School and the 2018-19 North Dakota High School Activities Association Distinguished Student. While the scoreboard reveals the winner of a high school athletic contest, the real winners are those that display good sportsmanship. We need those people who treat competition as a game and not a war. People who show genuine concern for an injured player, and those who accept all decisions of the game officials. Remember to be a good sport and a good citizen when you attend a high school game.
All right, 39-37. Colts lead by 2. They scored that bucket with a little over 4 minutes to go. Now we're just under 2 minutes. And full court pressure here by the Colts. Colts still with a foul to give. Tried to get the steal there, poked it away, but Kindred will retain possession. The good thing for Richland is that took a couple extra seconds off the clock, and now they're struggling with it down on the baseline. Runs into a double team, pops it back out top. Tried to work it down low, and it was intercepted by the Colts. Colts with 90 seconds to go on a 2-point lead. Slowing it down, bring it over the timeline with a minute 24 to go. On the near wing, now dribbles into the free throw line area. Thought about the shot, passed it away. Probably a smart decision here. They have 20 seconds on the shot clock. If they were to eat up that whole 20 seconds, it'd bring it down below a minute. Wide open, looks good out of her hands. Offensive rebound won't go, and Kindred will get the ball. They have a chance to tie it now. Once again, neither team has scored in about 3 minutes. That was tipped, so that will not go into the books as a double dribble. So we're under a minute to go, 45 seconds now. And it's stolen away by Kindred, or by Richland. They can eat, and that's going to be a foul in the backcourt here. They'll stop the clock with 40 seconds to go, so that will send Richland to the free throw line to try and... See, that's 10 fouls, so it should be a double bonus. She'll get 2 nonetheless. Substitution pending for Kindred here after the first free throw. And missed it. So now the substitution will come in. This free throw here is big because it's still a 1-possession game, but it forces Kindred to take the 3 instead of a high percentage 2 if she can make it. And she will not. It will remain a 2-point game. Once again, neither team has scored here. And Kindred can hold on to the ball until about 6 or so seconds left on the game clock. And they lost it out of bounds, and that will shut off the shot clock. And Richland can dribble out this game if they want. I would imagine Kindred will get the full court pressure going on here, and that's exactly what will happen. Inbounds pass comes in quickly up court, and back to Kindred. They have 23 seconds to try and tie it or win it with a 3. And now Richland will put pressure in the backcourt as well. They'll get the inbounds pass in. 20 seconds to go, shot clock off, and a whistle and a foul. That'll be team foul number 7. That will send Kindred to the line to shoot 1-1. And those 3 fouls that they had in the span of about 15 seconds earlier in this quarter are now coming back to haunt the Richland Colts. So it's a 1-on-1 bonus. If she makes the first one, she'll get a second attempt. She will not. Richland will get the rebound. 19 seconds to go. And a foul in the backcourt will stop the clock with 17 seconds. So once again, double bonus. Huge free throws here. I think it's Tessa Smith at the free throw line. She made it. 40-37, a 1-possession game here, and this free throw, if she makes it, could seal it. Two-possession game with 17 seconds to go. .12 seconds into the paint, trying to draw the foul, won't go. Richland pulls down the rebound, and that will do it. Barring a foul in the backcourt here. 3-2, and with 1.9 seconds to go, we have another foul, and Richland will go back to the line to shoot 2. So they lead 41-37. Free throws in, that will definitely seal it. 42-37, 5-point lead with 1.9 seconds to go. .43-37 will likely be your final score, barring a shot here from about half court that might go in. We'll see. A little short, nice effort there, and that is indeed your final score. We will not have a post-game show, but your final score, 43-37 in favor of the Richland Colts and the junior varsity team. Their junior varsity team did it. Can their varsity team do the same thing and end a nearly 10-year drought of losing to Kindred? We'll see. We'll go off the air and we'll come back on air here in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes right here on the ND Sports Channel. Thanks so much for watching.